Καλημέρα σας. Για όσους δεν με γνωρίζετε, είμαι ο Νίκος ο Μάτζαρης. Εγώ θα παρουσιάσω τους προσκεκλημένους μας που αντιστοιχούν στο κομμάτι των ανανεώσιμων πηγών ενέργειας. Θα ξεκινήσουμε όμως με κάτι λίγο πιο γενικό. Θα ξεκινήσουμε με τον Ανδρέα Σκάπες από τη Συνομοσπονδία Γερμανικών Συνεταιριστικών και Συνεργατικών Επιχειρήσεων, την DGRV, που θα μας δώσει μια γενικότερη εικόνα της ευρωπαϊκής εμπειρίας και των κοινωνικών συνεταιριστικών επιχειρήσεων. Στη συνέχεια θα πάμε ειδικότερα στις ΑΠΕ. Θα μιλήσει ο Τίμο Γκένσελ, ο οποίος είναι υπεύθυνος για ανάπτυξη προγραμμάτων για ενεργειακές συνεταιριστικές επιχειρήσεις. Ο Ντέρκο Βάνσιντιαν, ο οποίος είναι πρόεδρος της RESCOOP, που είναι η Ευρωπαϊκή Ομοσπονδία Ομάδων και Συνεταιρισμών Πολιτών για ΑΠΕ. Και τέλος θα μιλήσει ο Βασίλης Ομπέλης, που θα μας παρουσιάσει το πολύ ενδιαφέρον εγχείρημα της καρδίτσας, που χρησιμοποιώντας βιομάζα προσπαθεί να καλύψει μέρος των αναγκών σε ηλεκτρισμό. Να σας πω στο πρόγραμμά σας ότι είχαμε μία ακύρωση τελευταία στιγμής. Δυστυχώς ο Μάικλ Ντίσαντ από το Γκίσινγκ της Αυστρίας δεν θα μπορέσει να είναι μαζί μας. Μας ειδοποίησε χθες. Κάποιοι λόγοι ανωτέρας βίας δεν το επέτρεψαν να έρθει και δυστυχώς δεν θα ακούσουμε για το πολύ εντυπωσιακό παράδειγμα του Γκίσινγκ, που οι άνθρωποι πάλι από βιομάζα μετέτρεψαν μία πόλη 500 κατοίκων σε κάτι πολύ δυναμικό, χρησιμοποιώντας, όπως είπα και πριν, τις ανανεώσιμες πηγές και ειδικότερα την τοπικά παραγόμενη βιομάζα. Θα ήθελα να καλέσω, θα ξεκινήσουμε λοιπόν από τον Ανδρέας και να καλέσω και τον Τίμο και τον Ντέρκ και τον Βασίλη να έρθουν κοντά.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is the International Day of Cooperatives. Since 1923, the first Saturday in the month of July is being celebrated worldwide by 800 million cooperators. Therefore, today is a perfect selection for such an important conference addressing aspects of social economy and social cooperative enterprises. It is a personal honor for me as representative of the German Cooperative and Raiffeisen Organization to be here in Athens with you today and to participate in this event. I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me, and I can convey the best wishes from our German cooperative organization. We wish success to you all. My deep respect and congratulations go to Nikos Chrysogolos and his team. They did a great job in organizing this entire three-day event. I know that Nikos is very strong in strong driving force in these issues, which are so relevant today in our economies. And therefore, the topic also of today is excellent. We will be able to discuss economic solutions suitable to contributing significantly to overcome the present crisis era and to offering sustainable models fit to addressing global challenges. To my mind, it is fantastic that the 150-year-old cooperative model is playing an important role in this context. Ladies and gentlemen, the inclusion of individuals in our economies is a challenge. When we look at the economy in general, we see that there are some strong players facing many weak players. So, what are the needs of of these weaker players? Above all, they need strength. They want co-determination. They want to participate in economic success. They want access to markets, be it input-output markets, be it financial markets, and they need fair competition in order to be able to compete with big, maybe even international companies and holdings. We need even strong producers have access to improved productivity. And of course, also we want to have security against hostile investors. Ladies and gentlemen, I've mentioned in my introductory words already that cooperatives can make a difference and that they can significantly contribute to turning the economy into a social economy. Some facts about cooperatives. A cooperative is a very special form of cooperation. It is an enterprise. That is how especially we in Germany see cooperatives, but also how it's set out by the International Labour Organization in a recommendation approved by the United Nations. So it's an enterprise established as a voluntary tie-up of natural and or legal persons who share at least one common economic, social, cultural interest. Our founding fathers, Raiffeisen and Schulze-Delitzsch, some 150 years ago, put a significant stress on values such as solidarity, freedom, democracy, and justice. In a period of drastic changes in politics, in society, and the economy, 150 years ago, Raiffeisen Schulze-Delitzsch felt the threat that the individual could get lost, and therefore they looked for the cooperative model as an answer. So they saw a need for self-help, enabling members, enabling people to take their fate in their own hands and provide economic support through their own efforts. It's a very important principle that the members manage their own enterprise, their own cooperatives. The cooperative has not a focus on profit maximization, but on supporting the members. And at the same time, owners are also business partners in a cooperative. So, as I said, it's very important to see that cooperatives are not about shareholder value maximization, but about membership value maximization through providing services to the individual member businesses. What is started in Europe, in the UK, France, and Germany some 150 years ago, did spread all around the world. Today, we have cooperatives in more than 100 countries, providing 100 million jobs with some 800 million members. We can really frankly say that the livelihood of 3 billion people all over the world is made secure by cooperative enterprises. Also in the European Union, cooperatives are very important. We have around about 250,000 cooperatives, especially, for instance, important in the agriculture sector, 40,000, doing more or less 50% of all trading, input-output trading in agriculture through the cooperative enterprises, and cooperative banks, a network providing banking services in many countries. And when we look at 5.4 million jobs, cooperatives are also important for providing jobs. And therefore, for many people, access to daily life, to support the daily life. The European Commission, therefore, also has a very positive approach towards cooperatives. This year, the year 2012, is the International Year of Cooperatives proclaimed by the United Nations. United Nations want to highlight the strength of the cooperative business model as an alternative means of doing business and furthering social-economic development. With a quote from Ban Ki-moon, the UN General Secretary, he stresses that cooperatives combine both economic vitality and social responsibility. And I think this is really very important and very unique about this cooperative business model. Very briefly, I would like to give you some information, some impression on the economic relevance and of the diversity of cooperative sector in Germany. We have cooperatives basically in 5 sectors. The cooperative banking sector is strong. We have agricultural cooperatives with long tradition. We have a great variety of different cooperatives in the small-scale industry, commodity service sector, from retail shop owners, from craftsmen, pharmacists, doctors joined to establishing cooperatives. And we still also have some consumer cooperatives. All these sectors are grouped under the roof of the DGRV, my organization. And we have, for historical reasons, separate, but very important, the housing cooperative sector. We don't have cooperatives, it's not one enterprise with one logo. It's not one unique thing in Germany. It's a variety of more than 7,000 enterprises, each having its own logo, each deciding, with their own management, deciding on what they want to do. Therefore, the cooperative world in Germany is very colorful, and this is what I want to represent or to show with you with this slide, just taking some of the logos of our cooperative enterprises. The DGRV is a national apex organization of our cooperatives. It's also a top-level auditing federation. We provide external audit to cooperative organizations, especially on regional and national level. We can say that cooperatives in Germany, with all the different sectors which I mentioned, have a 150-year-old successful business tradition. Important tasks of our organization are first towards our cooperative enterprise in Germany, but we also support cooperative movements, cooperatives on an international basis, and we are also very strong in looking for ways to support the establishment of new cooperatives. But all this, even though that we are an apex organization, we are not there to give the directives to our local primary cooperatives. We are at the end of the chain. We have to contribute to support our local cooperatives, and everything what we do and what our cooperatives do and decide must be for the benefit of the members, because the members, even when we have a picture like that, they are on the bottom line. They are in the center of our focus. This has to be always the center of our focus of our activities. This slide just only gives you the impression of how our organization is organized as a network, all interlinked, a organization built up from local to the regional to the national level, with 4 pillars: the cooperative sectors, banking, agriculture, small-scale industry, consumer. These pillars under the roof of DGRV, but all these cooperatives are interlinked, supporting each other, and this is also very important when it comes to the establishment of new cooperatives, because they benefit from our network, they benefit from the high recognition and reputation we as organization have. And it's also fair to say that cooperatives in Germany are an autonomous organization. We have no government influence. The government has to set the legal regulatory framework in which our cooperative enterprises do business. But we do not have, let's say, a cooperative ministry. We are not reporting to some government organization. We are our enterprise is a strong taxpayer. We do not ask for subsidies from the state, because the more you ask for subsidies from the state, the more the state also wants to direct you into certain directions. But you know, our managers in the cooperatives, they need freedom to take their business decisions as they think they are necessary in order to support their members at best. So, a little bit to sum up my thoughts here. It's important for cooperatives to be strong in a network. So each cooperative, in Germany, for instance, has to be a member of a cooperative auditing federation, providing the necessary external control. When members and small people, let's say, are involved and they invest in a cooperative enterprise, they're the money that they have. There's a lot of trust is in the game, is at stake, and trust also requires external control, and therefore we have established these cooperative auditing federations and this network for this. And through the network, through our federations, the cooperatives can receive consulting and support tools like also training. We have this compulsory audit required by law that every cooperative needs to be audited every year by a cooperative auditing federation. And we can say that when it comes to the insolvency rate in Germany, and we have almost, let's say, 30,000 insolvencies of companies every year, the insolvency rate of cooperatives is by 1 per 1,000. So only a handful of cooperatives can go, let's say, going bankrupt, let's say 4 or 5, and this has to be put in relation with the 30,000 every year. Ladies and gentlemen, for decades, or for a long time, the absolute number of cooperatives in Germany was slightly always decreasing. Cooperatives in the traditional sectors like banking, agriculture, but this has changed. Since 2004, slightly a change started, and now it has become very dynamic. We have a strong wave of establishments of cooperatives in new fields, in renewable energy, in healthcare, of different service sectors, self-employed freelancers, living in old age is focus, taking over of communal tasks by people and through cooperatives, and also local supply, establishing, for instance, local stores in areas where no supermarkets are present. So when we look at the figures, we can see that serious increase for the past years, around 1,000 newly cooperatives since 2006. And for the sectors, we see a very strong focus on environment, energy, and water, but also healthcare important. And so, as I said, cooperatives newly established in a great variety of sectors. Interesting is the field of really of energy, environment, and water, which is also later being worked out more during the day. The trend is clear upwards, and this will also surely continue. And it's very important what the share and the contribution of cooperative, renewable energy cooperatives to the total energy change in Germany. When it comes to the motivation and aims of photovoltaic cooperatives, for instance, this is an example, it's clear and shown by a survey that, for instance, climate-related aspects are dominating. The importance of local responsibility and the wish for sustainable investments. These are not above all, when people establish a cooperative and invest in a cooperative, it's not above all materialistic results, materialistic aims which they are following. No, they want to do something that is sound and sustainable in their region. This is also reflected in this slide, where the personal motivation for the participation of individuals in a cooperative has been asked for. And they, above all, mention the possibility to contribute with little money to significant investments, to large investments. And also, it always comes clear that people trust in the democratic enterprise, form of legal enterprise of a cooperative, and they entrust this, and they really support this business concept. As I said, we will have more presentations on renewable energy. Therefore, to this slide, only one sentence. In the field of energy, renewable energy, cooperatives have huge potential. They offer a sustainable business model, region-based, thus decentralized, meeting the demands of people. And this can then also, from the renewable energy sector, can be taken also, or can be applied to the other fields, the other sectors of business where cooperatives are being newly established. I would like now to sum up my presentation with some reasoning or some words on cooperative essentials. My thesis one is that cooperatives are very much adaptable to changing worldwide market conditions. So in the era of globalization, cooperatives can make a difference and can enable people to survive. They're adaptable to changing needs of members and of clients. They can easily adapt to changing conditions, basic conditions within an economy. At the same time, always remaining deeply rooted in their region. And this is also really an aspect of success. Cooperatives have always to be close to their members, to their regions. My thesis two, cooperatives need networks. Stand alone, either as a single cooperative or even cooperatives in a country. This will not work out on the long run. Cooperatives need international operating own networks. Thesis three, particularly in era of crisis, like the present financial and economic crisis, cooperatives are able to help mobilizing new and additional forces. Many small forces joining hands are then able to overcome the huge challenges of today and of the future. What are important success factors for cooperatives? Each cooperative needs to be economically strong on its market. This is really, I mean, they have to provide from their business activity, generate a profit. At least they have to operate with a, let's say, operate so that they don't make losses. They need equal and fair conditions for competition. They need a professional management. It's very important that the managers knows their field of business where they're acting. Therefore, for instance, our cooperative organization is also providing a lot of training for managers. Cooperatives need members being aware of their duties. Cooperatives, of course, need access to finance, to capital. And for all this, the integration into a strong cooperative organization can help. Such a strong, decentralized, multi-level cooperative system should be, we believe, composed of regional and cooperative organizations like federations on regional and national level, providing support like auditing, consultancy, training, and on the commercial side, a link-up system is beneficial to individual cooperatives so that they have access through services which only can be generated at a larger scale by many cooperatives joining hands together. I mentioned already also in my speech the aspect of governance. So the cooperative audit and supervision is very, very important. For all this, cooperatives need a clear regulatory and legal framework, and they should be independent from the state. They should not seek always at first state subsidies, state support. It's always member responsibility first. And then later, if, for instance, in a certain sector, like, for instance, renewable energy, the government or, let's say, the European Union are providing support, this is, of course, welcome. But it's at the outset, at the beginning, should not be the question, how can we access subsidies in this or that field? It shall be, we have a problem here in our community, in our village, or in our region. We want to overcome it. We want to overcome it by joining hands, establishing a cooperative enterprise, and then, when we show that we can be able doing something, we can search for further support. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, a modern, more materialistic form of economy may lead to a certain degree of defragmentization of a society. But we urgently need a structured citizen participation in order to overcome the problems of today. We need member participation in cooperatives because this assures civic participation. The cooperatives provide a transparent model, and they lead to acceptance in the population, and they really imply democratic procedures. Cooperatives help to generate also significant amounts of funding. This is something which I will be talking about more tomorrow in tomorrow's event. They enable direct investments from the region into the region. They help to create regional value chains, to keep money in a region. Don't let it flow to big cities, to big centers in a country, or even to international centers. Keep the money in the region, make it at work in the region. So the traditional 150-year-old cooperative business model is not old-fashioned, how it has been regarded a long time. It's not dusty, it's not inefficient or bureaucratic, but it is vivid, and it is potentially ultra-modern. Cooperatives as organizational form of enterprise gain more and more presence and more and more popular in many sectors in our country, but also in many countries all over the world. We can really truly say it's a business model fit for the future. I thank you very much for your attention. I will be happy also later during the day and in the breaks to be we'll be around for any discussion and questions. In my documentation, I also added some additional slides on examples of successful cooperatives, which will be then probably be made out, be ready. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.